Hey, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Alongside is Jan. Jan from New York City saves
Hey,
money.
Steve.
Hey,
Hey,
Jan.
everybody.
Well, I have a couple questions I was wanting to ask you. They're pretty good, I think. The I'm just going to go ahead and start doing that. The first one I wanted to ask you: what is a common misconception about living on a low income?
Well, Steve, actually, there are two misconceptions about low income versus people that have a higher income. Some people automatically think, Steve, that because certain people make a lot of money, guaranteed their finances are in order and they're ahead of the game and they're saving versus someone who may be making a much lower income versus the way they can be saving. Some people think because they're on a lower income, nope, they can't save. Very far from true, very not true. As a matter of fact, Steve, I hope you don't mind me mentioning, just this very morning, I uploaded on my Saturday show about low income savings tips. And if anybody is watching this that's on a low income, I have to advertise myself here. Please check that out. It will be very, very helpful. Steve, I watch some videos from other places or read articles. There are a lot of people who are on a higher income and they literally mismanage their own money because they're not paying attention to their numbers. And I know of frugal people, myself being one. If you put yourself on a certain plan, you see, the difference, Steve, between success and failure in life, in my honest thoughts and feelings, or even opinion, that's just a joke, an inside joke,
No, it's the
uh,
same thing.
is that the difference between success and failure is lack of planning. Because a goal without a plan is only a wish. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. But Steve, many lower income families can still save. Just have to
Yeah.
want to come up with a strategy. And some people think that they have to be living a deprived life because they live a frugal life. So I see you shaking your head. You disagree with that, right?
No, 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 no. Shaking my head no because of how the people on the low income side feel about it, not what you're saying. No, anybody who thinks they can't save a dollar, that's a lie.
It
I mean,
really, really is. It's choices, Steve.
in my case, no, I'm not. No, I would consider I'm going to be honest. I consider myself on the low income side. Yes, but can I save 20, 30 a month? Yes, I can do that. It's not that hard. Because
Right.
guess what? You all of you know, and I've mentioned it before, you know my strategy when it comes to money after I pay all my bills. I take what's left, divide it by that number, and whatever I get, I try to live within that. And if anything, if I don't spend that day at all, it carries over. Carry, or live within that number. And whatever I have left at the end of the month, I can take whatever's there, even if it's a measly $10 a month, whatever. Anybody can save, but I was disagreeing or shaking my head because of how they thought,
Oh,
not.
no, no, no. I understood. I knew that even as you were doing that. I totally
Yeah.
knew that. But Steve, I have to congratulate you for two things.
Hmm.
One, the brilliant statement that you make, and I'm glad that you mentioned it again for those that are new to your channel or whatever. I love your method of whatever is left,
Oh
okay?
yeah.
And divide up. You know why? Here's the reason why I love it. It's a guarantee that you have something for the rest of the month, number one, because a lot of people, they're like fly by night and they only live for the 2 week increment of their
Yes.
pay. Awful, awful way of thinking, in my honest. But no, I love your method. And Steve, do you mind if I slip in a congratulations to you? If this show goes through successfully, like meaning it's uploaded, what number show is this going to be for you today?
400. Yeah.
Congratulations on 400 episodes.
Yeah,
Wow.
thanks. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Because
That's a milestone, Steve.
yeah, because whenever I go to post a video that we do or whatever, I go to the community tab and I put up, and when I was going over there, I checked my sub count, my video, and I looked at it, it said 399. I said, oh, wow. I said, all I need is one more. So this will make it the official four, which I'm happy about that. That's a lot. That's a lot of content to put out in almost 3 years.
That's a lot of content, but just, keep up the great work of your diligent weekly uploads and,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. But going back a second to the lower income person, by the way, what's considered to be substantially lower income, of course, is something like below $14,580
Something like
annually
that.
per
Yeah.
person. And for a family of four, that would be $30,000 a year annually. So, yeah, it absolutely has its challenges,
Hmm.
but it is not impossible because, Steve, there are ways and there are ways to save. You could save by, and I don't want to sound repetitive, but I'm just going to say it, indirectly saving with your stockpile of your groceries. Grocery store shopping is the greatest area of which you have flexibility with your financials. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to have the $15 item when you could get by with the $7 item type thing, or have the $15 item, but have it twice. And
Hmm.
you turned it into a $7 item because you're having it more than once.
Yeah. Because I've spoken about it many times over on my channel in the past about wholesale clubs. Do I always buy a brand name? No. For example, I've done it at Sam's Club. I've done it at BJ's. I have yet to try Costco, but I know it's good. I always buy, like, for example, when I buy sliced cheese, do I necessarily got to buy Sargento or some other brand like that? No, I do not. I usually get their brand, Wellesley Farms, Members Mark, and I need to try the Kirkland. In fact, I think I might have tried the Kirkland. I think I got some type of um, Munster or something. But anyway, I'm just as happy with the taste of that as I would be some of the other brands. Like, in fact, I need to make a little shop over to BJ's because I can pick up 2 pounds of cheese for $8. You can't beat that.
No, no, you
You go to
can't.
your supermarket and buy a pound, you're going to pay $10 if you're not
That's
careful.
right. That's right.
So no.
Speaking of cheese, Steve, what did I eat right before we
Oh,
did
that, yeah, you're but you said Happy Belly, but I'm used to seeing it under Gilbani or Sargento. I think Polio even perhaps the string cheese.
Yes, I had one stick of string cheese. I was a little hungry, but I didn't want something like so bad. I didn't want anything carby. So I says, I have, those string cheese in there. But this company, Happy Belly, tastes identical. I think
Mhm.
it's the same product as Polio because it tastes identical to the Polio. So I had one of those before we went on the air, and I'm like just sitting here just pulling on some string cheese. It was
That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm thinking in the case of me. I'm thinking that the Wellesley Farms and the other two brands that I mentioned is possibly a bet like Sargento or some other brand repackaged under a different name. So don't always think, oh, I got to have the brand name.
oh,
The brand name, you could be paying out an extra two, three, $4, $5 when you really don't have to. I mean,
you're
it doesn't.
right.
No, it doesn't matter if you're low income, middle, high, no matter what. Don't always consider buying the higher end. Well, in some cases, yes, it depends. You know, if you want to buy something that you know that's going to give you longevity and a lot of use, yeah, consider it. You know,
12 sticks, Steve. 12 sizable sticks for like $3.50, all individually wrapped, which
yeah,
means
yeah,
you could stick it in your, kid's lunch. You could pack it in your purse, and have it right before you go grocery shopping, and stave off that hanger feel. And it's portable. I mean, for what? Like 30 cents a stick? I mean, really.
Well, one thing about string cheese is you could eat a couple of three and not feel guilty about it because it is low carbs. But even at low carbs, even with that, you still want to slip some carbohydrates in with it because that's a whole other within
That's
story.
another show completely. But
Yeah,
getting back to lower income, if you manage your money properly and follow the basic rules of frugality, like live within or below your means, and take advantage of the grocery sales, and just adhere to common sense practices, like not use your car so much, not make so many frequent trips using the gas, centralize your trips on one day. These are very helpful tips.
yeah. Now, if you are able, if those of, I'm not. I have been known to buy some grocery items off of Amazon, but even at Amazon, you got to watch the prices. You really have to be in the know of all of your pricing because don't always think because it's online, you're always getting a better deal. That's not always the case.
Not always, no.
But no, I have been known. I don't qualify for the Amazon Fresh, but that's not really high on my list because I can
No.
get. But any grocery items, any other things like canned goods, like Hormel completes, anything that doesn't have to go in the refrigerator, anything like that. I can get all of that coffee, teas. I can get all of that on Amazon, but um, and all I got to do is just wait the following day or the day after. Sometimes I don't really like doing it, but they can set it up to where if you spend a certain amount and you get the order in by a certain time, you can have it delivered later that day.
All right.
Um, but don't really think too into that because the last time I did that, my order wound up coming to me the following day. So what
Excuse me.
relevance was there of me ordering it to have it delivered that day? It didn't show. I did get one item that showed up later that day. It was some coffee mate coffee creamer singles that you peel and you get them in the convenience stores where you can. It's like so that came, but my other part of my order, I had to wait until the next day to get it, which I thought was a little ridiculous. So, but you have to watch the prices coming back to that. Not everything online is the better deal. You would think that, and sometimes it is, but you really have to be in the know of
Take your
what.
time, and that's the advantage of looking online. You could take your time and do some comparisons instead of driving all over the place doing comparisons. You could use your Flip app. You could be proactive. You could skip shopping and delay it instead of every 7 days, go every 10 to 14 days. There are a lot of little insidious ways to save.
Yeah, I need to figure out a way to lower my trips out. I've been going out now mm, almost weekly, but I need to see if I can at least maybe eliminate one shop a month instead of four, make it three. That would help.
Every 10 days staggering is very helpful for some people.
Hmm. Yeah. That's what I would say so far this month. This is okay. Um, I've already been twice. So there's a little bit less than half a month left.
Yeah.
And I do need to make another store shop. So if I'm able to spread it out 10 days, yeah, that would be almost toward the end of the month, lacking a couple of days or two, a day or a day or two, I mean. And that would give me three shops instead of the four. So
And you
maybe,
just said the key thing. If you could spread it out and stagger it out, that's the trick of it. By going every 10 days as opposed to every 7 days shopping,
yeah,
it kind of forces the person, Steve, to utilize more of the stuff that they tend to just put towards the back of the fridge, which is not right in the first
good
place
point.
and never use. You don't want food waste. I don't mean you personally, I mean anyone.
Yeah.
So it forces the person kind of sort of that's used to a 7-day tripper to use more of what they have. And that's a savings right there.
It is. It is. Um, well, you had asked me a second question as well, or
You
I.
would ask me, or you're going to
Oh,
ask?
wait a minute. Let me. I
No,
got.
because we were throwing questions back and forth. It's
Right.
okay.
I got so into.
But I think you said you had a second question.
I
I
do
think you
have
said.
a second question. I
Mhm.
to you. Let me
Okay.
clarify that.
Okay.
Got so into the. Now, the second question that I have for you is, what is a common frustration to you as a content creator?
I have several. I do. One of them I'll expound upon slightly more than the other. But the first thing is being misunderstood. Like if I create a video and I specifically said something very clearly, like very clearly, and inevitably comes back something or a comment or whatever, and I'm like, that is not what I said. So I ask myself, did I not come across clearly? And one thing that I do pride myself, and I will say it, I pride myself in being a pretty darn good, clear communicator.
Hmm.
So when I see something like that, that could be a source of frustration.
Hmm.
So then I recognize, well, then maybe you weren't that clear, Jan, and maybe you need to fix it. So I can't just say, oh, well, I'm a great communicator, don't fix it. No, that to me, even if I thought I conveyed a certain message a certain way and it came back differently, that reminds me to go back to the drawing board, examine the video, listen to it again. Sometimes people think, okay, just throw a video and bye, you walk away, that's the end of it. No,
No, no, even I'm
no.
like that. Right.
Of course you know that, right? 400 under your belt, right? So then it makes me go back to and say, well, what can I do to make this better for the future? So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It may look simple, and I want it to, because it's not the viewer's problem. It's my job to convey the messages in a certain way.
Hmm.
But I do have, Steve, an answer to your question. I want to make sure that I'm answering it properly. Repeat that question again, if you'd be so kind.
Okay. What is a common frustration to you as a content creator?
Okay. Now, I have to share this. It doesn't sound sweet, and I'm always trying to be nice and diplomatic, and I will
Yeah.
continue to be diplomatic because I believe I can make a point and not hurt or offend anyone. But let's say I went to a restaurant, Steve, okay? And the waiter or the waitress gave me excellent service.
Hmm.
And I went to that restaurant and I enjoyed my meal. And they would ask, you want this or that? And everything that I asked for was fulfilled. The person was prompt, the person was polite, and they performed their task. Naturally, I'm going to let that person know, that waiter or waitress, in the form of a generous tip. Okay. I, as a content creator, and of course the bird clock is going off. I, as a content creator, for example, I will never ask for a tip. But if a viewer sees more than one ad, I'm not going to apologize if there's an ad on my work. I'm working. I'm not even selling anything. And there's nothing wrong in anyone that does. Okay. I'm trying to help people. So if there might be an ad or two in the middle of the content, in my honest, and I have to say this time, opinion, that is not a bad thing. And real viewers and real fans of the show will think nothing of it. Even if they skip it, I'm not asking anyone to watch it. If you do, great, thank you. If you
Hmm.
don't, great. That's your choice.
It
But
is.
at least be understanding why a content creator. I'm not just meaning me. There's a whole lot of people out there. So one of the frustrations that lies within is people do not realize that it takes an idea, a concept, it takes writing time, it takes not just click and record and go blah. We don't do blah. We do thoughtfulness. Okay. I teach a lesson. In the parochial school that I taught in, parents spent a lot of money to get my lessons. I'm just trying to make a point. So to
Yeah.
complain about, oh, there's an ad, I just don't share that. I don't agree that that should be a source of complaining. That's all. That's all. I don't want anybody to have to watch anything. Do whatever you want. But please don't have the content creator feel badly about having an ad placed in their show. I think
No.
it's terrible.
No, I mean,
You asked me the question and I'm answering it.
well, all right. I can just as easily, by what you just relayed, I could just as easily mention NBC, ABC, CBS, the normal. I'm still used to the original three. Then you had Fox later in. But when you watch a TV program, about every 15 minutes, what are they throwing in? They're throwing in commercials. You can't go over there and complain and, oh, the only thing you can do is change the channel and go to something else until they come back. I've been known to do that. But you can't change the TV station themselves. Hey, I don't want that commercial there. I don't want that ad there. The TV can't hear you.
Yeah,
So
right.
no, no. There's nothing wrong with having an ad in the middle of your TV
The
show.
content creator gave a little bit of a service in a way, so to speak, whether it's education or entertainment or both. I call myself an edutainer. I try
Right.
to entertain, right, and educate. I try. Okay, is it perfect?
Yeah.
No, no one's perfect. Only God is perfect.
No.
But the beauty part is the unlike regular TV, we can't click the skip ad option. Where this, so the person skips the ad.
Yeah.
There's also the option of ad free. You could, people can get on here and go for the ad free version if they want. But for people who are paying nothing for all these wonderful channels, and to make a comment or to do about them having a commercial, to me, in answer to your question, I would not just bring it up, but I'm answering your question, is a source of frustration to me as a content creator.
I
Let's
can
go back to that waiter or waitress that performed a great service. People wouldn't blink an eyelash to throw them 20% of a tip. Wouldn't
right.
blink an eyelash, but they would get annoyed because an ad comes on and nobody's asking for anything. That's what I just don't get it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. No. And you've been to elaborate. You've been known to do it. I did it earlier today to start this show, and I'm going to do it when I conclude. I have been known a majority of the time, and so have you, to throw in little intros and outros. Now, we do that to make our shows a little more peppy, put a little bit of livelihood into it, make it a little happy. They do the same thing when you watch a world news channel. All of your TV shows, all of your everything you watch on TV, a sitcom, a regular like Law and Order that's been on SVU or whatever. That all of those that's been on since the beginning of time. It seems like everything's got an intro and an outro. Why can't that's the same thing that what we're doing? We're
Yeah.
trying to make a show out of it to give it a setting,
Yes.
intro, the what we speak about, and out we go. So that's all we're doing. We're just trying to make our program or what content we put out not
And
to
here, go ahead, Steve.
not to make it sound so yeah, okay,
Mamby
yeah,
pamby.
right.
I
So I want to
yes.
use I like using that little happy music in the beginning.
Sure.
I like using happy music toward the end. I do it for a reason. So
Yes. May I add just one more thing? I spent a lot of time and effort because I really, really do want to help people keep some more of their own hard earned money. Why can't some of those people recognize, well, gee, maybe Janet has some bills to pay. So I'm not going to complain if there's an ad rolling in the middle of the show. I just don't get the lack of empathy there. I, that's it. I say no more.
Okay, I'll add on to that. You get tickets, you go to a show, a symphony, a Broadway show, Les Miserables, whatever you want to call it, something along that lines, cabaret. I know I'm mentioning some old shows, but still. Any type of show you go to like that, you have something called intermission, where for a few minutes, right in the middle, you break away, you get up, you mingle, restroom break, get something to drink, whatever the case
Absolutely.
may be, catch your breath more or less, and then you go back and watch the rest of whatever it is. No, there's nothing. All that is in the middle, having a commercial, is basically like an intermission if you stop and think about the simplicity and the breakdown of it.
All right.
And that's about it. I can't really elaborate much more than that, but to
And I want to keep being able, to do this. I want to have a purpose. Maybe I have savings goals. Maybe my bills went up a lot here in New York. I don't say it, but maybe everyone has their responsibilities, but I do believe in working for them. I don't believe in handouts. I believe in working
yeah,
and I work. So I refuse to feel guilty if I'm going to hang an ad in the middle of my work. It's just that simple. But
yes.
the viewer has the option to not watch it. That's
There's a-
all.
there's another way to go about it. If you want to watch the content but you don't like the ad, guess what? That's what the volume button is for.
They
You
can
have the
mute it, step away. But I don't ever encourage anyone to watch ads. That's not my job. I encourage them to enjoy my video. But please be respectful enough to any content creator if they have an ad in the middle of their work.
yeah, yeah.
I know I'm correct, so I'm not worried.
No, no, very, very much so. Actually, in this case, we both are because we,
Yes.
because if you go watch a show, symphony, Broadway, whatever the case may be, you have an intermission as a part of the curriculum. It's gonna happen. Does that mean you have to exactly follow through? No, you're just gonna sit there, look like a lump on a log until they come back. But no, intermission is mandatory. It's going to be there. It's the same thing. So, well, this was a nice.
Interesting questions. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, earlier I got so into the one about the low income, my
Oh,
mind kind of went
no,
a
that
little
was
bit left
fine.
field. But
Totally fine.
yeah, so this was good. Um, you know, I want to thank everybody here. It's always good when we get together like this, and kind of like our own little Siskel and Ebert quote.
Yeah.
But be on the lookout for us. I'm trying to put up a little bit more content. I'm kind of at random on the days. Like you might see something pop up on a Tuesday. It could be a Thursday. Then you have this one. You might see something Sunday. So I'm a little bit of all over the map right now, and so definitely
Well,
be on
that's
the
why I
lookout.
love it when you post on your community tab.
I need to
Like,
start
well,
making
no,
more.
you do post. You do. I mean, I've read them.
Yeah, but I need to put my foot forward a little bit more
Oh, I see.
because
Okay.
no, because sometimes I don't put up on the community tab. I just do a video
Ah,
and schedule it and don't say anything, which that's not good for me because I could be missing out on 10 or 12 viewers that might want to watch our content, my content, and because I didn't say anything and they're so used to going over there to look, they could miss out. I don't want to do that.
That sounds
So I
about
do
right. Mhm.
so I do need to put that foot more my foot forward more. In fact, every time I put up a video, I should mention on such and such date. I always put EST because that's my time zone.
Right.
That way they if they're in Arizona, California, Utah, whatever, Texas, they can make their adjustments to do.
Exactly.
All right, Jan. Glad that we were able to get this information out there to
Thanks
them.
for having me on.
Anytime, and you know, definitely be on the lookout for us next week. So we will see you guys next time, and have a good one. Bye.
Bye.